Okay, so hello everyone, and this video is going to be very, very interesting. I mean, interest is subjective, and subjectively speaking, it doesn't really look like my videos are very interesting right now since we have almost no viewers and zero subscriber increase. But we'll still keep grinding, we'll still keep making videos because that's what we are meant to do. But anyway, so it's not a clickbait title. It is, in fact, very true that I spent an entire night on the streets of Japan. And what did I exactly encounter? To know why I exactly did that, what exactly happened, we have to go a bit earlier from the night. Now, what exactly happened was I was alone at home. It was a Sunday morning, evening, sorry, Sunday evening. My roomies were nowhere to be seen because apparently my roomies did not want me to come or something with them. Like they went to somewhere and they didn't want me to come with them. And yeah, that's how life it is. But yeah, anyways, so my roomies went out all alone. And at the evening, it clicks to me that why the hell am I sitting alone at home doing absolutely nothing and being a couch potato when I could just go out because I am literally living my dream. I am living in Japan. I am living in the country that I've dreamt of being in since, like, I don't know, past 8 years or some shit. So that's what I did. So we went to Hakata, Tenjin to be more exact. But yeah, Tenjin in Chuo Ward in Fukuokashi in Fukuoka Prefecture is exactly where we went. And that is about 50 kilometers away, so maybe a little more than 50 kilometers away from my accommodation. And that's precisely what we did. So I went to the nearest station. I took a ticket to Hakata station, and boom. I was looking at G Maps, and on Google Maps it said sub-rapid train. Now I did not exactly know what sub-rapid train meant. I thought it was something between a local and a rapid because that's what really made sense. I didn't know that it did not show freaking limited expresses. And as I said, it turns out that we were boarding a limited express. Now, thankfully, I don't know what clicked in my mind, but I chose the rare birds. Now, usually for people who do not know, the rare birds in limited expresses are for unreserved seats, right? They're for unreserved people who have not basically reserved a ticket, so you can get a separate ticket on those seats, right? So I was sitting there, and first of all, bro, limited expresses are fucking insane. They are insane. I did not know that there could be Shinkansen, which would be the top tier bullet trains, and then limited expresses, which are like wannabe Shinkansens, right? And I'll just attach some, video clips of me in the limited express. I mean, that's what I'm supposed to do as well. Why am I stating this, such obvious thing? But yeah, so hmm, why am I lagging? Anyways, so the limited expresses, bro, they're like wannabe Shinkansens. They are fast as fuck. They're fast as fuck. They do not stop at that many stations. And they have, I guess, an average top speed about 150 kilometers per hour to 200 kilometers per hour, like the speed range. But yeah, that's the thing. And now, to make it clear, I did not know that limited expresses require a separate ticket. I thought that now I have bought the ticket for 950 yen. That must mean that I am eligible for a fucking limited express, and I was not. I was wrong. The ticket checker comes in and he asks me for the ticket, and I gently pull out my ticket and I show it to him, and he says, "No, this will not work." Thankfully, he knew English, and that's why it was a bit easier to settle down, because then he just took out his tab, he calculated something, he said 800 yen, I gave him 800 yen. I felt scammed, I cried, and then I just enjoyed. Because, I mean, bro, it's my first time in limited expresses, and bro, as I said to you, they are insane. They move insanely fast. They don't stop at that many stations. They are elegant. They are luxurious. But at the same time, I would say that they were a bit dirty. It didn't really seem like it was regularly cleaned. But even then, it was still, bro, way better than Indian trains. And biggest of all, it just looked so good. Like, I was just literally enjoying myself. I was all alone in a limited express that I had sat on a first time. But yeah, within 40 minutes, within 40 to 45 minutes, I reach Hakata station, which I was meant to reach in about 1.5 hours. Crazy, right? So we reach Hakata station, we go out, and then at first I was trying to find my way to the canal city, Kanarshi Hakata is what you call in Japanese. If you want to ask someone, you say Kanarashi wa doko desu ka? Where is Canal City? Right. So we tried to reach Canal City. I tried to take a walk. I tried to ask people because I was kind of interested in doing this challenge for myself. That I won't use Google Maps anymore. I'll just ask people, and that took me about 1 hours of asking and going around and round and round and round just to reach Canal City, which was like 15 minutes away by walk. Now, the thing is that that kind of made me meet a lot of good people, really nice people. I met them, we exchanged Instagram. I forgot to take pictures, but I exchanged Instagram. Still a thumbs up. But yeah, what was meant to be a 15-minute walk turned into a 1 hour walk. Now the problem only was time, because I had reached Hakata around 8:30 something, and the last train from Hakata to back my at my accommodation is at 11:30, which means after wasting 1 hour, I only had like 2.5 hours left. I spent some time at Candle City. I asked a few people more about where Tenjin is. I walked to Tenjin. I go into a club. Yes, I went to a club and I partied. I partied a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. So we partied a lot, and it was expensive as hell because it was 3,500 yen, for which they only provided one free drink. First drink was free, but bro, 3,500 yen. That too when I only had 10,000 yen. Now the problem is also money as well at this point. Why? Because I have spent 950 pounds plus 800 pounds plus 3,500 pounds plus another 700 pounds on the drink. And I only had 10,000 yen because I was not able to add any money into my card. I was, and I had almost run out of cash. The only cash I had was just when I had, withdrew it from, right before coming to Hakata. So yeah, that was another problem. Now, um, after partying a lot, I realized that it has been 11:10. I only had 20 minutes to catch my last goddamn train to back home. So now I leave the club. I tell my bros that I had made my bros in just past 2 hours. I tell them, yeah, bye, I'm gonna go. And I take off. Now, after taking off, I try to find the way back to Hakata station. I kept walking, kept walking, kept walking, kept walking, and it turns out I reach at 11:40. Now, after reaching at 11:40, all I was left was with regrets. I mean, what was I even supposed to do at this point? The train had left. I was left with regrets. I go into the toilet. I try to rest myself a bit, but it also turns out that I only had 1% battery on my phone. So now, what I was doing as a challenge for myself to improve my Japanese had now become a necessity. I was forced to ask people stuff in Japanese and try to communicate with them. Now, I as I said, I went to the washroom to calm myself down a bit. I wouldn't say calm because like I was calm. It was fun. It was fun. I'm not gonna lie. It was really fun because it was a new experience for me. I have never strayed out on the streets for an entire night. Never did. So yeah, it was a new experience for me. And I won't say calm, but you get my point. It was more like after you party a lot and stuff, and just that's what it was. So and after that, what happened after that? Yeah, I went to Family Mart. I bought this power bank over here that apparently runs on fucking batteries. I don't know why the fuck you would make a power bank that runs on batteries. This is literally just pure rip off. This shit over here is just pure rip off. I would never suggest anyone. Now, the problem with me was that there's charge spots all around Japan where you can basically rent a power bank for a bit and you can charge your phone. But the problem with that is that you have to have cash, sorry, money in your card, or you have to have a point card, or an IC card, or pay or something. Like it should be online. It should not be in cash. That's the problem over there. Now the problem with this shit is it does not fucking charge. It does not charge. This was a pure ripoff. I spent £1,700 on this shit. Sorry, 1,700 yen, bro. 1,700 yen on this shit. I have spent 1,700 yen on this absolute bullcrap that did not even fucking charge my phone. Now, one thing that I would suggest people, a pro tip would be always keep cash. Always keep money in your card, in your IC card, in your, PayPay or whatever you're using. Always keep money in that. So that's my one pro tip. And never buy this shit. Never ever buy this shit. This is absolute bullcrap. It will not charge your phone. It will feel like it's going to charge your phone, but it won't. So yeah, I took it, and after a while, I spent like, because I'm not gonna lie, it was snowing. It was snowing. It was very freaking freezing. So I needed a place to stay. Now I did not have enough money to even buy a freaking hotel and then be able to go home the next morning. So I decided let's stay on the Hakata station, and I stayed. But then it turns out at around 1 a.m. that the stations close as well. Yes, the stations also close. Like what? Why? But oh well. This is actually one thing that I actually did not like about Japan, that they actually close the stations for like 3 hours or some shit in the night, and that there's no trains operating at all, because in India we have like some or other form of trains that do operate, right? But yeah, anyways, so I decided to spend the night on the street, and now I shall be playing a video clip of me, giving some moral advices for some reason on the streets of Japan. So we are stuck in Hakata for the night. because I got drunk in a club, and now we have absolutely no options. I missed my last train, and I'm kidding that I got drunk in a club. I was just roaming around, but then I realized that I was way too far away. It's really windy, and I can't do shit. Thank God, at least I found a power bank over here. It's windy. At one point, it was even snowing. Man, what a thundering. And it's so strange that at this point, what time is it? It's 1:10 a.m. I still have to survive for like 3.5 hours, 3.7 hours actually. I have to survive for 3.7 hours. And yeah, it's strange that even Hakata, the night city of Fukuoka, seems to have slept at this point. All these buildings that were glowing with honky lights have now no lights. I mean, they do. Some of them, of course, they do. And at this point, one of my few moral realizations have been that Japanese konbinis are heaven on earth. They are warm, they have toilets, they have power banks. And another one would be that let's sit away for a few. Another one would be never go without a fully charged phone or at least a power bank. Third one would be always keep a track of time. And we have the money to buy at least one bento, and that's it. That's all we have. And I'm not even clearly visible. It's such a strange thing because I don't even know. We can look at the OK sign for a bit. It was doing OK for a bit, but now it's just doing different shit. I can't even read it. But yeah, um, that's it, I guess. That's all I have to say. I'm not gonna die. It's just, it's a weird thing. Like, wow. First of all, I'm stranded in a city far away from my accommodation, and that too in a country that I've never been to before. I only have the money to go home and eat once, and it's freezing cold. And what else? Japanese companies are what's saving me, nothing else. I barely even find good places to sit where I can keep myself warm. And here goes another fucking taxi to ruin my audio. But yeah, that's it, I guess. I even have such low battery. I can't even keep making this shit. So now, as we are back, I had to spend around 4 more hours on the streets of Japan before I could go back home, which was my first train around 5:01 a.m. That would be the train that I would take to go back home. Now, 4 more hours in freezing cold, as I said. It was snowing. It was not easy. It was snowing and it was cold. I only had money to go back home and to eat once, like eat one bento to be more exact. And what I decided to do was, since I was still hungry, as I had not eaten much of anything, I decided to split the eating money into two parts. I could basically now buy those, yakisoba. I don't know if it's yakisoba or teppanyaki, but they're like instant yakisoba or teppanyaki noodles from, this UFO by Nissin. And that's what I did, and they were really tasty. And the taste felt and hit even better because now I was eating it at the strike of night. And yeah, so what I realized during those hours was that it was so freaking cold. I could have probably died, but thanks to convenience stores, I did not die. And the streets of Japan are really safe. You would rarely find any people who would be like a nuisance. Like even people who are extremely drunk, they're not loud. They are wobbly. They are, you know, like they are how drunk people are, but still, I have noticed they are not loud, which is something that I really appreciate. That despite being drunk, you're not being that loud. You're not being a nuisance to others. That is something that is really appreciable. And also, even if you ask people for help, they will help you out. And yeah, that's one thing that Japanese people in those terms are really nice and helpful. That whenever you ask them for help, they do try their best to help out. They would, and as I said, the streets are really, really, really safe. There wasn't even once where I felt I was threatened. There wasn't even once that where I felt like I could have been robbed or anything like that. So I spent an entire night on the streets of Japan, and I took my first train at 5:01 a.m. back home. I reached my home back at 6:30 in the morning, and it was a fun night. I went from one convenience store to other convenience store in order to survive in the freaking freezing cold, and that's what it truly was. It was more like a kombini hop with loads of walking, and all in all, I would say that this experience for me was really cool because, like, first of all, it was my first time. Second of all, it was more like, you know, that, as I said, Japanese streets are safe as fuck in that sense that you wouldn't really see much of nuisance happening around Japanese streets. And one thing that I'm really cocky about is the fact that Tenjin is considered as the city of in the Kyushu region that never really sleeps. I have seen that city sleep. So yeah, that was the video for today. That I went to Tenjin. I survived an entire night on the streets of Tenjin, and it was really fun, and it was really safe as well. So yeah, goodbye.